Hello, welcome to the first Sigma training session. This one is getting started. I'm Kim Blake. I'm going to take you through this session and various other ones will follow. Just start off with one slide, and this is what we'll be covering today. So logging in, looking at the structure of Sigma, how you search, how you view items such as groups, sites, meters, what actions and pages you can go to, how you set your personal preferences, and the relevant pages in the online user manual. So I'm at the log on page. I've got my username and my password, and then I'll sign in. And depending on how you set your personal preferences will depend what page you come to. I'll come back to how you set them in a moment. But this is the general setup. So we have drop-down menus here. And then we've got the log out and then the user menu. So each one of these drop-downs may vary in what you see depending on your access rights, but it allows you to do various functions. For example, configuring your database, setting up users. In the data menu, we can look at the meters and import data and do auto imports, so setting up automatic imports. We've then got the reporting, which is about analysing and reporting, as well as setting up and analysing budgets. The financial menu is about contracts. So contracts can be set up in Sigma. They can have a pence per unit, standing charge, VAT, etc. And then those prices can be used to report against metering data and also to validate your billing. In the invoice validation menu, we have portfolio set up. So a portfolio holds accounts. Within there, you've got validation rules, so what validators you're setting up, and your query management. Within the invoices, we've got how to import invoices and run accounts payables. Then there's accruals and invoice analysis. Along to the alarms. So alarms can be set, they can be configured, and then you deal with those that have been raised. And then projects, so you can do project tracking. So there's a summary page. You can set up policies, opportunities and projects, and then analyse those too. So that's just a quick brief overview of the drop-downs. I'm going to start off with the configuration section and then configure tree. Now this will show us what we've got in the database. So I have my organisation. And then I've got my general demo company, of which I've then got groups. Underneath the groups, I can have another group, or it could go straight to sites. So underneath this group, I have the head office. And then I have, again, you can have groups underneath there, or you can have the individual meters. So you'll see under the head office, we've got 3 meters. There's various different ones in here, and you can see by the symbols whether or not they're electric, gas, or water. Clicking on any one of them will display the details on the right-hand side. I'll come back to that in a bit more detail later. Same as if I was to click on a site or a group. There's a search facility here, so you can search. If I search head office, we can see it's come down to the head office. If I search mains, we can see here mains is in these 3 meters. And then if I search for an actual meter or part of the number, we can see we come down to the meter itself. You can also search for an MPAN or part of an MPAN or MPRM. And again, in this instance, it comes down to that same meter. If you want to remove the search, you just click on the cross. So I said each one of these items you can click on and you can see the details. So for the site, we've got everything has a path. You'll see a site code, an address, postcode, etc. With a meter, we've got again the path and the code, and then various other bits of information. The serial number, the meter prefix of meter number. So in this case, it's electric. So we have the MPAN here. And then an import code. So if you're importing that data automatically, there's a code. Some tick boxes about whether or not it's cumulative, it's used for billing, etc. And then a date of the last import. So we've got data up to this particular date. The tags here are different types of tags. You can either put a tag on individually yourself, or some are automatically inherited. So for instance, because this is set as a half hourly meter, then it gets the tag of high frequency. It's not got a tick for cumulative, so it has a tag for non-cumulative. And these two were put on by ourselves just to identify this particular meter. There are also buttons at the top here where we can add things in. So you have at a meter level, I could add meters underneath the meter. If I was on the site, I can add a group underneath the site, or a site, again, the meters. Any of these you can right click and get the same thing. So you've got the configure, which is about editing, and then adding. And then the configure site is the same as the edit button here. Just a quick look at some of the other things within the configuration. We have mass edit of sites or mass edit of meters. So you can put the same detail to more than one site or more than one meter. You can import or export the tree configuration. So that's about taking out all of the details about each site, meter, etc. And then we have custom fields. So custom fields are markers that you can put on the database. You can also put things like floor area, and it can be time bound. If you're moving to a different page, you just click and it will open it up for you. If I want to return, I can either use the internet back button or go back to the menu. If I just come over to the user menu on the right-hand side and to my account, this is where you set your own preferences. So you'll have your personal details in here, and then you can set your preferences. So which page do I want to log into or go to when I log in? So I've got mine set to go to the configure tree, but whatever you want within those, you can set. The Express version, which is the lighter version, again, you've got a default page for that. And we'll cover some of those other parts at a later date, but you'd make the changes and then save preferences. If you want to look at the help files, if I just open up another internet page, open up the page, you've got a search facility at the top, or you've got the menu on the right-hand side. So there is a section called Getting Started, and that takes you through logging in, searching, navigating, resetting a password, etc. There's also a how-to guide, and this is how you get around Sigma and the different pages that you'll need. So for instance, if you wanted to view the contract associated with the meter, it gives you the details. So it's the setup menu, configuration, and then configure tree. So back into Sigma, if I click on the little house here, it takes me back to my home page. As I've set my home page to be the tree configuration, it will take me straight into here. And then lastly, logging out. So logging out on the right-hand side, click on log out, and you're logged out of the database. So that's the first session. You can work through the other sessions at your own leisure, and I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you.